Hello, everyone. So today I am here because there is this question from V-Star. Hi, Amy. I'm just wondering if you have any updates on your first impression or your first impression after using this phone clutch that you had unboxed a month ago. I've been on the hunt since. So I just wanted to come on here like last week, like the past 2 weeks, live to talk about your most frequently asked question. And so it's today's episode is about this phone clutch, which I unboxed, I think, well, she said a month. I don't think it has been a month. Has it already been a month? Maybe. Anyway, so this one, I will link it down below, the video where I unboxed and also did a modeling shot and my first impression review. So this is just to give you an update on what I think about it after using it. I have used it, I think, a couple times. Not that much because, like I said, I don't really go out anymore. The pandemic has been getting worse and worse here, and things are getting more restricting here, but not everyone's following the rules. Anyway, I have used it a couple times, and I have also used, because I was comparing it to this bag, which is this is the LV Petit Sac Plat, and I was kind of talking about these two bags in that video where I compared it as a phone clutch, or I use it as a phone clutch functionality. But and then the price is actually quite different too. This one is $15.50, I think, and this one was $2,500 when I bought it. This particular one was from the 20B collection, so the fall winter, I think fall winter Act 1. I do love it. So is it worth it? Yes and no, because I feel like it's a novelty item. It's definitely the north-south design, similar to this one. It's the north-south design. It's not going to replace your typical Chanel mini flap needs. If a Chanel mini flap is what you want, and if that's what you're aiming for, getting this will not satisfy you. That I can tell you for sure. Is it a great price point though? It is, because when I bought this one, it was, I think it was 2,500. I already don't remember, but I think it was 2,500 plus tax. Whereas I think the square minis nowadays is like, I think it starts at 5,000, and I think maybe the rectangular is like 5,500. Correct me if I'm wrong. But as far as I remember, it is pretty much double the price of this. But I don't like to compare those two because they're apples and oranges. The mini flaps, they really are, in its own right, kind of like a classic flap, but a seasonal, and it's a mini size. And they're very sought after. They're very coveted. They will always be popular in my mind because there's always a place for mini bags. This, I don't consider it as a mini bag, although it does fit quite a bit for a phone clutch. It fits, watch my review on this bag. I did a what's my bag. It fits everything I need, especially given that now I don't really carry that much. So if you look at it from a price point of view, 2,500 versus 5,000 plus, yes, it's worth it for sure. But you will never satisfy your needs for a mini flap if that's what you want. So only get it if you like the novelty aspect of it, because this is essentially a novelty purchase for me. This was a novelty purchase for me. And I think because my collection is at a point where I can experiment more, I can have more fun with. Therefore, buying these were, they were kind of fun purchases, but they were also practical for me. And that's what I was trying to say also in my video, in my review. I was saying that they were practical for me because nowadays when I go out, I really just don't want to bring too much with me, but I definitely still want my phone. I definitely still want my card holder. my keys, and my hand sanitizer. I love the fact that these 2 bags, there is enough space to put all of those things. And that's very minimal if you think about it. It's very minimal, and we're not going to be in a pandemic forever, right? But I still feel like there is always a place for a novelty item like this for me, just because I'm a very minimalist person, or at least I got used to being a minimalist person. And I like going to the movies without carrying very much with me, if at all. But at least if I have a bag like this, then I can carry basically my minimal essentials and I can run out the door. If I were to just give a quick update on this bag, is that I love it because it's a Chanel. I feel like I ended up with these 2 as my phone clutch because I like having an LV version. There's always a place for LV canvas as well. I mean, aesthetically, because for me, when I dress up or even when I dress down, I still have a specific look in mind, like depending on how I accessorize that day. Sometimes I want to go with a monogram, sometimes I want to go with a Chanel quilted bag. And so for me, I love it because it's a Chanel. So that's number 1. Number 2, I love that it's actually really well made, because for $2,500, you're not only just getting caviar on the outside, but it's also fully lined in leather. It's very it's very impressive, the fact that nowadays at Chanel, you cannot even get a mini flap for less than 5,000. So I know that I told you to not look at it from a price point of view because we're comparing apples and oranges. But if you're looking at it from the point of view of how much leather and construction craftsmanship you're getting, I feel like it's a good bargain in a way. So I love that for that reason. I love that the chain is the perfect crossbody length. I'm 5'4". I did all the modeling shots in the review video, so definitely check it out. I love that there's this pocket in the back. Now, I don't really use this pocket. It does go all the way down as far as I know. The reason why I don't use this pocket is because this is a north-south design, like I said earlier. And when you have your bag quite full, which I did when I used it, I put everything inside, including my hand sanitizer, it becomes quite expanded. And when it's really expanded, it gets tighter on any outside pockets, right? So it's there. I love that there's an outside pocket. It's kind of like an extra feature, but it's really not super practical. It's great to put something where you want to know that it's there, but you don't have to reach for it. So like a parking stub, you only need it once when you leave the parking lot, that type of thing, but not something that you reach in and out a lot, like not your bus pass, nothing like that. Something that you have to get all the time. I wouldn't put it here. I would just actually put it in the slots that are inside, because it actually does come with the 4 slots that are on the bag. Now these slots, they also do get tight, because imagine when your bag is quite full, right? So right now it's empty, but when it's quite full, it does get in the way of all the slots as well. So do keep that in mind too. So I still prefer using my card holder with this bag, but I do keep maybe like 1 card on one of the slots, like the one on top, just because that card is the one that I will use the most. Let's say it's my Visa card. I can just take my Visa card out at any time, whereas my ID and everything else stays in my card holder, and it fits in perfectly fine. As far as the dimension, I have the largest size phone, like I said in my review, and I am quite certain that even the largest size iPhone 12 will fit. I think even if you do have a robust case, you will still be able to fit it, because I don't know if you'll be able to see right now. Oh yeah, you can see that my phone, there's still a bit of a leeway on the top, but also do keep in mind, once it expands, it shortens the height of your bag. So all in all, I love it. I love that the chain is daintier. It does get pretty heavy if you fill it up like the way I did, but it's like I said, it's a Chanel look. I love the color that I got it in. it's not a bag that you wanna get in and out very often also. Like I mentioned, phone clutches, even this bag, I bought it for that novelty aspect, but also for the fact that I just wanna have my essentials around, but I don't wanna have to reach in and out of it very often because then I wouldn't be using these bags. I would use a bag where I can actually get in and out more easily, like an actual mini handbag, not these novelty phone holders because things get pretty tight when you pack it. It does have the space, it does have enough space, but it gets pretty tight. So it's just in case, like your emergency items on you, basically. And you can downsize quite significantly. So great for like, you know, barbecue parties at a family's house. Great for running quick errands where you don't have to reach into your bag, for example. Like if you just need to get that one credit card on the top, that's perfectly fine because there's those slots in there, 2 slots on each side. Um, yeah, that's that's pretty much my update. There's really not much to talk about. It's such a simple bag, but I think it's worth it if you're at a place where you just like a novelty item. Not if you wanna get the mini and then you get this instead, because it's just totally different. Hello, Kimberly. Estella, I'm doing great, thank you. But, usually so yeah, this is just an impromptu Q&A where I, pick one of your frequently asked question and I wanna just answer it live. But do join us in about 2 hours with me and Kat on this channel. So same channel, we're gonna be doing a, I guess, battle of the puffer bags. Estella, is the phone holder heavy after you put things in? It does get heavy because I mean, I do have the largest size iPhone, so this is like the heaviest iPhone. I do put my hand sanitizer in it. I do put my keys in it, my card holder in it. So it's just as heavy as those things, plus the weight of the bag. The bag itself is not super heavy, but you are wearing it on a thin chain. So I would assume you wear it on crossbody, right? Because that's probably you probably want to be hands-free. And this is a thinner chain, right? It's not unbearable, it doesn't hurt or anything, but it can get heavy. However, you cannot fit more than what I just mentioned earlier. It's those 5 things. You cannot fit more than that in this bag, so it cannot get heavier than that. So it's reasonable. I don't think that it's really like heavy, like it doesn't hurt or anything. Like even this bag can get pretty heavy because this bag actually fits more than the Chanel one. It has a little bit of more leeway in the on the top and because it's also a little wider and it's a little bit more flexible. But with the Petit Sac Plat, you can also hold it by hand, which kind of takes away the weight aspect a little bit. Hello, for the love of bags. Let's see. KK loves CC. Hi, Amy. What are your thoughts about this compared to the rectangular vanity case that is so popular last season? Rectangular vanity case. Oh, I see what you mean. The one that is kind of like this size, right? So there's one that's kind of like almost like a little cube size, and then one that's a little longer. I think that's the one you're talking about. Um, I really wanted to get that same vanity case that you were referring to. Like I like the rectangular one because it's long enough to fit a large size phone, but I couldn't get my hands on it. I also think that that one is a great novelty sort of, similar function, but just a different shape. I will say though, with that one, it's a zipper top, so unless I try it on and see how smooth the zippers are since I've never tried it. I have a feeling I might get annoyed at the fact that you have to really take the time to unzip it. It's probably not so annoying though, just because the way it's configured, you can wear it crossbody and it even if you open it with two hands, it will still stay put on your body. It doesn't kind of flip. It doesn't flip, like your things can't fall off as far as I know, because I think the flap just stays flat against you and then the bag just stays upright. So I feel like that one, because it actually, if I think that one will fit more things more comfortably. It's just that getting in and out of it is not as fast as you would with this. Because with any flap bag, you open the flap and you're in the bag, right? So I do like that one a lot. It's also at a great price point, and I feel like that one is also going to come back quite a bit. As far as I know, I think the cruise season, they're gonna release more of along the same lines of that vanity case, and they're also going to release more of these as well. But I think there's going to be the Pearl Crush one, which is a little bit more pricey, but basically the same functionality of this as this. Jojo, I'm carrying mine in black to a date with hubby. Yeah, exactly. It's a really great, let me just it's a really great bag for date nights and for quick errands, really. Which is why if you have that specific need, one, and if you like the novelty aspect of it, then get it. Otherwise, I mean, I always say don't spend the money if you don't have to, because there's always going to be something else that you want. But if you absolutely love it and if you absolutely like the novelty factor, and if you have a need for it, then why not, right? Because it's such a great item at a great price point. And prices at Chanel are just going to go up. They never really go down usually, right? I feel like even in the secondhand market, if you were to buy it again, not buy it again, but if you were to look for one in the secondhand market, because the price point is so low to begin with, chances are it will retain its value pretty well. That's just my guess. We don't know for sure, but I feel like it would, just because the prices start pretty low already. TT, don't you think as the bag is vertical, things fall to the bottom and we need to dig it out? Not convenient as mini. It is not as convenient as the mini. You're right. Do they fall on the bottom though? They don't fall. For example, like your phone, you can pretty much grab it because it's it's on top. The only thing is your keys and your card case. You would have to put it vertically, and it would, if you shove it all the way to the bottom, then it would stick. It would be here, right? So then you really have to dig it. So my trick is, if it's a card holder and I reach for the card holder more often, I don't shove it all the way down. I just kind of, because everything is pretty compact, like once you have so many things, it gets stuck in a way, like it doesn't, unless you push it down, it will just stay up. So you can kind of leave it up there for you to be able to reach it more easily. Of course, this is a tapered bag, so you can't just leave everything on top. So I usually leave like the card holder kind of higher, because I would probably reach for my card holder more than my key holder, because the keys is only when you get out of the house and when you get back to the house, right? You don't really need it every single time. So it's not as bad as you think, especially if you do pack it and everything is pretty much, like, even if you were to flip it, it's not really going to fall down if you pack it and everything gets squeezed together. SL Chen, the Senrev Mini Aluna appears very similar to this in terms of size and function. Oh, that's good to know. I don't really know the Senrev bags very well, so I mean, I know like the backpack one that everyone has, but I have never actually tried on a Senrev bag yet, and I think they sell it at Nordstrom, and I think I've handled one once, but only very briefly, and I've never actually even tried it on myself, so haven't had the chance to try Senrev bags yet. But it's good to know there's, these things are once someone makes it, everyone makes it too because um, once there's a trend, everyone jumps on the trend as well. KK Love CC, great point about answering the zipper versus the flap. Exactly. Um, I think it's a preference thing. Some people don't mind zippers. I'm a little annoyed by zippers sometimes, not all the time, but if it's a very functional, easy to get in and out of type of flap or opening, then it's fine. But yeah, it really just depends on how good the zipper is and if things will fall out, or if even if, like, say you're leaving the cash register after paying something, is it easy enough to close it back too? Like, that is something that I can get annoyed as well. So I do look at it from that point of view, but I did like the bag enough, like the shape of the vanity enough that I didn't mind trying it, except that I couldn't get my hold on one. Like, they were sold out a long time ago. Hi, Yingli. Hope to see you guys in about 2 hours. Maria, hi, Amy. I got the Petit Sac Plat recently, decided to return it as I realized I couldn't really go very minimal, but I had to see the bag and try it on. I know, Maria, that's how I felt too, because remember, I think even I decided at the beginning when it came out, I was like, oh, it's so cute. Like, I was so tempted, but then there was always like the people mentioning, well, Kat always mentioned about the north-south issue, and then I saw a couple of videos and I saw how little people carried, and I thought, oh, maybe I don't need another mini bag, because it's not like I don't have another mini bag to use. I have the front pouch of this, which can be just like my phone clutch or my mini phone bag, right? I do have other options, but it's the novelty factor. It really is the novelty factor. And yes, you're right. Not everyone can downsize, which is why I always say in my reviews, especially when it comes to novelty items, that it's not for everyone. It's a very niche sort of functionality. Um, I think because I'm such a minimalist, it works for me, but it wouldn't work for everyone. But I'm glad that you got to see it, because I mean, it is really well made, right? It's so thick, the canvas, and this is going to be one of those things that you look at it in a few years, you're like, oh, it's like that bag that they came out a few years ago, and who knows if they'll continue it, right? Like all the nanos, they got crazy popular, and now it's so hard to get, if not impossible. So I'm going to stay for maybe 5 more minutes, and then I have to go and cook something to eat, because otherwise I'll be starving by the time we get to our live show. Estella, so for the LV one, will things fall out of the bag easily since it's opened? Okay, so Estella, same concept with the LV one. They're actually the exact same width. If you saw go back to my video on this bag, my video where I revealed this bag, I actually kind of did a comparison with this. Or was it the other way around? I can't remember. I'll link both of them together down below. They're actually the same width. And so the way I pack it, because I pack my key holder, my card holder, my phone, and my sanitizer, nothing falls out, because they're all kind of like the width of it takes up the width of all my items. They take up all the space. So nothing falls out for me, but then my items are mine, right? Like, I don't know what type of things you put in yours. It could fall out if your things are very thin, or if you have only a couple of things inside. If you're worried about things falling out, then maybe it's not for you. Although, I'm just wondering, how many times are you actually gonna flip your bag, though? I'm just wondering, because it is quite a small opening, and chances are, I mean, if you're holding it, things won't probably won't fall out unless it's like maybe your car keys, it might fall out um if you're not strategic, because you can sort of shove it into the bottom and have like your sanitizer on top of it, like block it from coming out. Like the more important things always put on the bottom. That's how I would. And so that way, if anything falls out, it would be like your lip balm or your sanitizer, like things that are not super, super crucial. That's what I would do. Mommy EDERMD. If you are a Chanel collector, then this would be a great addition to your collection, correct? But if not, it is just a waste of money, correct? Which is why I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, which is why I said yes and no. Is it worth it? Yes and no. It really just depends. I have seen Senrev on other people. They look really structured, stiff and bulky. Very limited functionality. Yes, very limited. Not for everyone. I don't gravitate towards north-south bags, but they are cute. I feel like they don't for as many people as east-west. I have to agree. I think for me, the reason why I'm attracted to the north-south of just these size is because it's small enough, and like I mentioned earlier, a very important factor is that these bags I buy because I want to have my things around with me, but I'm not likely going to reach in very often. That's when I'm going to wear these bags. I don't think I would really wear these bags if I know that I'm on an errands day that I have to constantly get in and out of my bag. It's totally not going to be functional for that reason. Because first of all, the north-south issue, and second of all, it's quite a tight fit. Everything is quite a tight fit. So, like I said, a very specific niche. Hi, Rio. These phone holders, mini totes, are super cute. I love that you got yours in burgundy. I'm considering the Triomphe Canvas Mini Tote by Celine. It holds a little more. Yes, I don't exactly know which one it is, but I'm gonna look it up. But yeah, a lot of fashion houses have, their own sort of phone holder functionality or bags. Let's see, Sonia. I love novelty bags, but I'm still building my classic collection. Once I have practical bags, I'm sure I will dive into the trendy pieces. Yes, that is exactly it. Like these are not essential in your collection at all, not at all. They are novelty pieces. I buy it for the fun, and I will also have to say this, like I don't invest in any novelty pieces either. I feel like novelty pieces are there for fun. They are kind of a trend in a way. It's very spur of the moment in a way. But if I personally have a need for it, then it's worth it for me. But I still look at the price point. If it's too expensive, like if it costs just as much as a mini, why would I get it? I wouldn't. So there is the factor that these are really reasonably priced for me, which I guess it gives me another reason to get it because it's still really affordable right now, and I like it enough to get it. Rio, as a male handbag lover, to me, these north-south bags look less feminine on the body, so I always go with that style rather than the Chanel classic flaps. That is a great point. It's so true. It's so true because I think about the bags that my husband wear. They tend to be more north-south, or at least they tend to be less wide versus high, because the wider ones, either you're wearing a briefcase, in which case is not really a handbag, then yeah, you're right. You're totally right. And do watch my review video. I'm gonna get going. Do watch my review videos on these 2 bags. I'm gonna link it down below, because I did all kinds of modeling shots. I talked about why I decided to get them. I talked about whether it's for everyone, which is not. I just answered everyone that it's not for everyone. But if you do have those specific needs, then yes, go ahead and get them. And yeah, hopefully this was helpful. I will get going and I will eat, and then I will see you in about an hour and a half. So do come join us in an hour and a half. We're gonna do a comparison, in-depth comparison of, and some eye candy of my Chanel 19 and Kat's Lulu puffer bag. All right, guys, we'll see you very soon. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, check out the links. I'm gonna update it right now. Okay, bye.